Hey guys, how's it going? Tel here. Welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. We are into 2026, so I thought no better timing to get the YouTube channel back up and running again. Today on the channel, I'm going to go through Project 100. I managed to reach 100 cinema trips last year, and today I'm going to show you how I've done it and go through all the things that I did see. If you are interested in doing the Project 100, do make sure you stick around. I can give you some tips and advice going forward for the rest of the year. And will I be doing this challenge again in 2026? Let's get straight into it and start off with January. Now, January, I saw 11 films in total. We've got Sonic 3, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu. That was a triple bill. So I got off to a really strong start. 3 films in one day. Then we done Wolfman. I had a Wolfman multimedia screening, which was great fun. Then I saw A Complete Unknown at Leicester Square IMAX. Absolutely loved that. Also saw The Social Network. Saw Wicked with a Q&A with Cynthia Erivo. We had a secret screening where we saw Presents. And I saw Companion twice. Absolutely loved Companion. But the film of the month for me was We Live in Time. I've got a massive poster right behind the camera here of We Live in Time. I think I saw... At that point, We Live in Time about 4 or 5 times already, as I saw it in October at the London Film Festival, and it actually only released on New Year's Day in 2025, so I thought it was another chance for me to see it. If you are looking to do Project 100, you need to aim for 8 to 9 films a month. If you hit 8 onwards, you're on track. You're on very good progress. So 11 for January, I started off the month very, very strong. February, I only got up to 16. So I saw Captain America: Brave New World twice. Wasn't that keen on it. Then I saw The Monkey and the Heart Eyes. Again, films I really was not a fan of. And then I saw Inception in IMAX, and that made up for it, and that was my film of the month. So February, up to 16 films. Into March now, we've got up to 24 films, so kind of clawed it back a little bit. Saw The Electric State at an early screening. Millie Bobby Brown and the Russo brothers were there. That was incredible. And then Letterboxd invited me to an early screening of Opus, and the film was okay. It did keep you on your toes. Some nasty, gruesome little moments that I did like. And it was an A24 film. Then I saw The Last Breath. Okay. Mickey 17. Probably one of my biggest disappointments of the year. Death of a Unicorn. A24. Again, it was okay. Saw Snow White in 4DX. My first 4DX experience. Then I went to a multimedia screening of Novocaine. But my film of the month was Black Bag. Really nice runtime Black Bag. Set in London. A bit of an MI6 thriller, crime type of film. A case of what's actually going on. And I really enjoyed it. And I think the best thing about the film was actually the runtime, which I just mentioned. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Now, April, a triple bill of Sinners. Absolutely love Sinners. I saw an early preview of it and at the BFI IMAX. At the early preview, Ryan Coogler did turn up to introduce the film. Also saw Warfare at BFI IMAX on the same day. I think it was actually on the very same day with a Q&A with Alex Garland, and Kit Connor, I believe, was there as well. We went to see E.T. and Odeon Awards night. That was pretty fun. Drop, Until Dawn, Revenge of the Sith anniversary. That was in 4DX. That was great. Mixed month, April. But film of the month, of course, Sinners. And Sinners, it was actually my film of the year. Let's move on to May. Now, May was a weird one because I saw Thunderbolts on, might be May the 1st it released. And I saw it at O2 Cineworld, and throughout half the film they had one of the key lights on. They had, you know, the Cineworld star you get on the wall. That was on, shining very brightly onto the screen, and it was on the screen for literally half of the film, and it was very, very distracting. I was trying to watch the film like this, trying to cover half my eye, and yes, it really did ruin my Thunderbolts experience. Apart from that, Lilo and Stitch was okay, and then there was another secret screening for The Ritual, which was very, very basic. So numbers wise, we're up to 39. I think we're okay numbers wise at this point. But Thunderbolts, so cool to see Yelena Belova leading the Thunderbolts, who are now the new Avengers, and of course we will be seeing them in Doomsday. Yeah, Thunderbolts, my favourite superhero film of the year. Moving on to June, we got up to 52. June was a busy month. June was cool because we had a film festival, SWSX I think it's called, where I saw Deep Cover, and I actually got a selfie with Bryce Dallas Howard. Orlando Bloom was there as well, but I didn't manage to get a selfie of him. And then also at the festival we saw The Institute, which was a brand new TV show. Also at the Pitch House, they done an all-nighter where we saw The Apartment, Killing of a Sacred Deer, My Name is Nobody, and Hail Caesar. So it was 4 mystery films. Didn't have a clue what we were seeing. But it was a very, very fun night, that one. And 4 films to get the numbers up. It really did help. We also had Mission Impossible, How to Train Your Dragon in IMAX. 28 years later, I saw an early screening of that with Q&A with Danny Boyle. That was brilliant. We had Elio. But my film of the month was Brad Pitt's F1. On to July. We done the Lord of the Rings triple bill. And then we done a double bill of Jurassic World Rebirth and Fantastic Four twice. Superman came out, of course. Went to the premiere of The Naked Gun. Secret Screaming of Together, and then they really done a re-release of Whiplash as well. Also Bring Her Back, another Secret Screaming, I believe. July, very busy month, 64. That got us up to 64 films out of 100, but the highlight was the Lord of the Rings trilogy. August, very short month, only got us up to 68 films for the year. Went to an early screening of Weapons, and then I saw Toxic Avenger at another early screening. This one was set at like Soho House or something like that. Very, very intimate, but got to see it way before the film actually released. So that was really cool. And then Freaky Friday, I saw that quite late on. Moving on to September then, and we got up to 75 films. So 3/4 of the way there into September. Film of the month was One Battle After Another, of course. But we also had The Roses, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, The Strangers Chapter 2, which I like. I like The Strangers franchise. It's tacky. It's a bit camp. But I kind of like it. You kind of know what you're going to get. We also had The Long Walk, The Conjuring Last Rites, and Caught Stealing. Very much a mixed bag for September. Let's go on to October. This was London Film Festival month. So at the film festival, there's Roofman, Die My Love, Tuna, which was a surprise film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, and After the Hunt. Smashing Machine was a bit of a miss. Die My Love was terrible. Really didn't enjoy Die My Love. After the Hunt, I booked a seat at the film festival, but ended up going to the pub that night instead. So I ended up seeing After the Hunt like a week later. Black Phone 2 was a miss as well. Film of the month was Roofman, which I actually saw at the BFI London Film Festival. That was brilliant. Had a bit of everything in it as well, and I really did like the chemistry between Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst. So yeah, Roofman, big fan of that. And I grew up loving Toys R Us. So with the film being about a guy living in Toys R Us for 6 months, of course I was going to like this film. November, I got up to 91 films. So it meant December, I only had to do 9, which would have been on par. So November, we had Predator Badlands, okay. The holiday Christmas films started to come out. And then it was Stranger Things season. I was very lucky enough to be able to attend the first episode, or the first chapter of Stranger Things season 5, which was The Crawl. So the first one was the actual Prem. I saw that in Leicester Square, and then the O2 done a screening, or O2 Mobile done a screening. I was very lucky enough to get myself a ticket for that as well. Film of the month was Back to the Future. Saw that in 4DX, and that absolutely blew my mind. The lightning, the wind, the storm, the DeLorean, the Earth Angel, Power of Love. It was unbelievable experience in 4DX. I would do it again tomorrow if I could. Then we had The Running Man, was not a big fan of. Even though I've really liked Glenn Powell and Josh Brolin. And then I done a Wicked double bill in 4DX with my mum at Cineworld, and that was great fun. That was a really good fun. Unfortunately, Wicked for Good didn't reach the levels of Wicked. But that got us up to 91 out of 100. And on to December, we done Eternity, Housemaid early screening, thanks to Joe, my mate Dino Joe. Rental Family with a Q&A with Brendan Fraser and Hikari. Took my brother to that. That was brilliant. Went to an early screening of Avatar, Fire and Ash. 3 hours and 27 minutes, that one. Too long for me. Then I saw Gremlins at the cinema. That was brilliant. Marty Supreme, very good. Sentimental Value, very good. Anaconda, maybe not so good, but I had fun with it. But my film of the month was The Shining. Seeing that for the first time in IMAX. The Shining was very early in December. But my final 3 for the year was Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Anaconda. Not a bad way to end the year. Let's go through my top 5 trips of the year. No particular order. We'll start off with the Picture House all-nighter. So where we done the 4 films. There was about 10 to 12 of us who went that night. And we all met up for a pizza beforehand. Then we went to the pub, had a few drinks. And then we all got snacks in Tesco and then settled down for the night. Because I think we started around 10:30 and we got out about 8 a.m. in the morning. But it was such a fun night of everyone. Getting to see all my friends. Really, really cool experience. And we was all dozing off at different times. Some of us didn't make it. There were some films where I was dozing off, especially the end one, My Name is Nobody. I was falling asleep there. The Apartment, I kept drifting off, but very, very fun experience at Pitch House Central, mainly due to all the people I was with as well. Another big one was F1, seeing that in Basildon. That was a great one. Just ticking off a new Cineworld cinema as well. Really fun night. And watching F1 for the first time, the movie, it really felt like you was in the car. Very, very cool experience. Sinners was another top experience. Like I said, seeing that an early preview. Again, Stranger Things, going to the early premiere of that. That was great. And then Back to the Future, seeing that in 4DX. They were my top 5 of trips of the year. And yeah, can't knock it. I hope this year could be even better. Don't know how it could be. Maybe if we see Florence Pugh in the flesh and get to go to Doomsday Prem or something like that. Who knows what will happen? Who knows what 2026 holds? But let's talk about the pros and cons. So pros and cons. The pros, you love for the cinema. You know, if you go to do what you're doing, what you love, you get to broaden your film taste. So see films that you might not see normally. Like I saw Sentimental Value. That is a Swedish film. Swedish or Norwegian? It might be a bit of both. And that was subtitled for the majority of the film, apart from Elle Fanning's lines when she's speaking in English. You really do get to broaden your film taste. And there were some other films that I probably wouldn't see if I didn't have my Cineworld Unlimited card. And it's a relaxing experience. You know, you get to switch off from everything. And of course, it's a self-motivation thing doing Project 100. So you do motivate yourself to go to the cinema and try and actually complete a challenge. Which of course, it must feel brilliant when you do complete a challenge. And when I completed 100 trips, I felt great. And I felt a huge sense of relief. The cons. Now, the cons for me is loneliness. I think I'd done maybe 40 to 50% of these trips alone. And if we're being quite serious about it, it does get lonely. It's not just about sitting in the cinema on your own. I don't mind that. I've got no problem with sitting down in a cinema on my own. But I'm someone that overthinks a lot. And you know, when you do have things going on in your life outside of the cinema, it's tough. It can get tough. And yeah, sometimes when I'm watching a film, I've got thoughts going through my head about things that are going on. But it's not about the cinema watching the film itself. It's about the journey to the cinema, sitting on the train, and then coming back from the cinema. My local cinemas are pretty much the O2 and Leicester Square, and you're looking at about an hour, 10 minutes to get there. So it's a lot of time on your own, spending time with your thoughts, maybe listening to music or a podcast. And yeah, I'm a very, very bad overthinker. And that is something I'm guilty of, which I really need to work on in 2026. So it does get lonely if you do go to cinema alone. Well, for me, it did. And yeah, the loneliness and the overthinking, and it does become quite draining at times, knowing that you need to do this for a challenge, not because you want to do it deep down. Sometimes I would rather just be at home sitting down watching something on Netflix instead of actually going to the cinema. And the other big con is that it does take up a lot of your time. Maybe you could be doing something better with your time, maybe something a bit more productive. Yeah, maybe that was too negative. Who knows? But that was all I've got. So yeah, that was my Project 100. That was how I done 100 trips. My tips going forward, if you do want to do the challenge, is probably to follow Pitch House on Instagram and Twitter. Follow the BFI. Make sure you do keep up to date with the film festivals, early previews, early screenings. Any way to get an early boost and get an early leveler up, trying to see a film early. Empire as well. Empire have VIP club. If you got any questions or if you want to know any tips about stuff, yeah, give me a follow or leave me a message in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. But there we go. That's my first video of 2026 on the channel. Hopefully I've not rambled on for too much. Do let me know what you thought and how many films did you see in 2025? I'd love to know. I am also on TikTok. I am TelTalks on TikTok as well. I'm on Letterboxd. It'll all be in the description if you want to give me a follow and we can become film friends. So I've been Tel. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you have made it to the end, if you could hit that subscribe button for me, that would be brilliant. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back very soon with another YouTube video. I really want to push my YouTube this year. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys soon. See you later.